I was looking at some threads to respond to, and I thought instead of responding in the thread, I'm going to make a video about it because this helps illuminate some important things about both TikTok Shop and Andromeda. So right here, here's a TikTok affiliate are asking about they have enough followers. How do you start? So I'm going to coincide that with this post, which is talking about, oh, we're gonna do TikTok we're as sellers, but now we're thinking about not because it looks like they can just take everything away from you at a moment's notice. Yes, they can. This is 100% true. And let me tell you why that and this have the same answer: compliance. You need to know how to research like a top level uh, uh, journalist. You need to know how to research like a top level copywriter, someone like me who has done 10 figures. How? Someone like me, for marketers to truly thrive because creators could get just a few tips from marketers, direct marketers like open loops or the hook and different ways to hook visual, text, verbal, all the different ways to get inside of people's minds under their skin. Okay, they took those things and they started creating variations and they said anything they wanted to make sales. That's not true marketing or true sales. That's called lying. A lot of people were telling authentic stories, and that's what made it redeeming, the TikTok shop over the last 2 years, giving people access to products. And I'll show you in a second what I mean: access to products that can genuinely change their lives and telling those stories, which, by the way, is going to also coincide with this over here because the answer is yes, storytelling is more necessary than ever. And stories, how you talk about science, how you talk about results compliantly means everything. How you visually keep people watching while telling your story, everything. So going back over here, compliance is going to be your number one. Knowing how to research, knowing how to ask questions about products, getting down to their mechanisms. And that, by the way, includes, let's say you're selling silver infused sheets. You know, you can't make these huge antibacterial, antimicrobial, antiviral that's non-compliant. You have to know how to talk about it in a way that's going to be compliant so that you also don't fall prey to what this person's talking about, having your shop taken away from you without a moment's notice. What else can you be doing? What else should you be doing to build a creator blueprint? Well, that's going to come down to positioning points and UX testing. Just like I talked about with Andromeda. I posted the picture with the 10 different positioning points or market segments. Same application here. You can use that same image. Go over to that video. It's in the description. You can fill in those 10 circles with your different positioning points, market segments, ways. It's like here's a knee device, ACL, MCL, meniscus, bone on bone cartilage, before and after workouts, specifically for running, vocational, nurses, bartenders, waitresses, waiters, school teachers. There's so many different applications, segments, and then UX testing, archetypal stories being told, right? So what archetypal stories could I tell? Well, let's answer that question about the storytelling. Here's just a few examples of
a complete fallacy. This is what happens when you listen to your doctor. Let me tell you the reality about how you actually can repair bone on bone cartilage decline.
Now that is skirt. But I am anchoring in terms of compliance, but I am going to anchor it down.
So this is NASA research technology. 850 nanometers helps reactivate the mitochondria in the chondrocyte cells, the cells that actually make cartilage.
So getting into mechanism. Now, here is a little bit too soapboxy, actually, as I listen to it. So I wouldn't be surprised if this doesn't perform at all. but
and collagen. And that helps recoat the slip plate, helping deal with bone-on-bone knee pain literally where it begins.
and that's just classic mechanism deeper core, right? And building a case that has scientific foundation is huge. Just making claims and saying this is what this does this. That is so non-compliant, will get creators taken out of the creator pool for all the top products, because top sellers period, do not want to see their accounts, right? Which goes back over here. They don't want to see their accounts taken away, so they can't let you do that. Okay.
And in the laser light, the 660 nm, it gets blood circulation going, oxygen going, and helps accelerate knee repair. So anybody telling you, oh, your knees can't repair bone on bone, no cartilage, not true. We have chondrocyte cells. They can be regenerated. The mitochondria can.
And since this is directly, I forgot that aspect, responding to a comment, I get away with that just a little more. Let's see something else.
I'm a health copywriter, and if you have any knee pain, you need to hear why insurance companies don't want you to know about this knee massager.
It's the Blue Man. Okay, so how many? So that's 8 seconds, and that's a long lead. Should be 4 to 5 seconds, 3 to 5 seconds. Using authority, something that I've done before and had great success with, and then getting in, setting up the science, the why.
The knee massager uses two forms of light NASA researched and proved help regrow ligaments and cartilage.
That's true.
The 850 and 660 nanometer lights, just 20 minutes a day, 2-3 times a day, makes my knees feel 5 years younger.
It's true. And it's snug. I make it tight. And the heat and vibration, that's great. But I use it 3, 4, 6 times a day while I'm writing copy, while I'm on video calls. People are like, what's that noise? It's none of your business. It's okay. Don't pay attention to that. No, it really does help. I have lupus, and maybe one of these will tell that story. So my right knee specifically, which has ACL, MCL, meniscus damage, slip plate damage, cartilage decline, all those things are in play.
6 settings for massage and heat that give me now relief, and then the 2 NASA research lights give me the long-term cartilage slip plate, ACL, MCL, meniscus relief. Americans spend $12 billion a year on MCL, ACL. I'm a health copywriter, and I'm going to tell you why insurance companies don't want you to know about this knee massage. Americans spend $12 billion a year on knee replacement, MCL, and ACL.
So making a claim and then substantiating it because it's a racket, and I could really lean into that, make a hidden enemy or a straight up antagonist to the protagonist, the knee device. So there's a ton of possibility on how to continue doing that. And again, starting with authority at the top, which works well on TikTok, which is something that could also be an answer to that other person's question.
This knee massager uses near infrared and laser light. It's NASA research to help restore circulation.
And do you hear the tone in my voice? I'm still detoxing the direct sales, the copywriter out of my voice so that I'm not sounding like a used car salesman. It stands out on TikTok like a sore thumb, like a gaping wound. Whoa, like a gray alien in a mix of Republicans. No, it's just stands out, just like, whoa, that shouldn't be there. So the different variations here, saying the same thing in different ways, also helps all the algorithms, right? This would help on TikTok, see which way of saying the same thing gets the most identification, views, likes, shares, comments, purchases. All those things are going to matter in terms of GMV Max doing its job and Andromeda being able to get the right people to see the video. And I'll get to Andromeda more in a second. Let me just finish this out.
And repair in the ligaments and cartilage slip plate. Literally just 20 minutes a day, and this thing makes my knees feel 5 years younger. I left a link here if you want to stop giving insurance companies all your money and start doing something about your knee pain, short and long term now.
So again, that is a 34-second complete, beginning, middle, and end full value proposition. And if you're a copywriter and you want to get on the TikTok, take on client sellers on TikTok, you need to know what all the different viral conventions are, hook conventions, um, production conventions, what is native, what is working specifically in ads, what could you do to help expand what is working. That's your least amount, because you want to do what is working just in your own way, utilizing all the heuristic elements that I talk about and teach. That is how you're going to be able to thrive on both platforms. All right. Now, let me go over here. Meta with the Andromeda, it's really screwing people up, because if you're just running conversion ads, sell, or in this case, they're also running traffic ads, but I'm going to tell you why that's not enough either. You're wondering what is going on. Why, it's like, let's say they had one or maybe two positioning points that were working. Why all of a sudden is my performance dropping, my costs, acquisition costs going up? It's because creative, not your bidding, not your, worrying about ABO, all the terms that everybody is. What we need to be thinking about the most right now is positioning point, market segmenting, and UX testing, UX variations. The UX variations are what tested in the real world, in the wild, as they say. That is different ways of saying the same thing to see what gets the most archetypal universal hand raising, self-identification. That's the dopamine rather, and that's more compliant than the direct response. Hurt them and heal them. I'm going to scare the shit out of you. The pig, the bottom of the barrel story. People don't want that. They want real. They want relatable. That is just more and more passe and non-compliant. That's why, beyond the conversation of where's the state of freelance copywriting, creators surpassing them, but it's also just not understanding how media buying is dead. That's a trope, but now all the tricks that the media buyers used to do that made meta advertising feel out of reach for a lot of biz owners, offer owners, sellers. Now it's super easy because it's creative, and all the things that I talk about. Again, they're talking about all the things that they have been doing, and now they're just saying Meta is screwing us all. No, you just, no, same here. Audience saturation, again, creative fatigue, all the things that I talk about. Creative fatigue is so rarely actual creative fatigue, but not having enough relevant eyes to see that creative. So, and then all the different positioning points, all the different UX testing that keeps the algorithm constantly searching for more learning while validating, confirm biasing, getting more and more of a certain people and two more like them. When the other person talked about traffic ads not working, get the engagement ads going, because engagement, let me actually take you over here for a second. Engagement is absolutely huge. Prioritizing long-term engagement prediction. So predicting more and predicting correctly who should be served. So when new impressions are put into different market segments on the viewer side, you're able to get quick traction. But you're not going to have that until Andromeda can triangulate each audience, each demo, each archetype. And when I say triangulate, enough creative to get enough information to hone in here. Triangulate. So a few things, cost per result inflation. That's, again, it's wanting to learn, but you're not giving it what it needs to learn. And therefore, you're just donating all the ad spend at this point. That's pure donation. That's giving Mark Zuckerberg his best life, not yours. So some interesting stuff here. And I also put that other one in. And just, again, coming down to the creative aspect, it's so important to understand how important that is, especially now. I've been talking about it for years, But now it's everything, literally everything. All the other media buying tips and tricks and strategies, you can leave them alone and focus here, and you will be more successful than most. All right, guys, I am going to leave it there. I appreciate it. Again, this is a new channel. Subscribe if you can, if you haven't, and give us a like. Give me a like, throw a like, and let me know in the comments questions that you have and what videos you would like to see more of. I really do appreciate it. Thanks.